welcome to the joyful month of June. It's this Poetic License 2025 at FCTV. We're pleased to present original poetry, prose, and music. My name is Donna Scheer, and our theme tonight is Daddy-O. Besides scheduled programming on Channel 6, it's a joy to explore the FCTV website. If you haven't done it yet, it's worth a look. If you go to fctv.org, you can watch FCTV exclusives. Recently, I saw one about the newly reopened Shining Sea bike path. It's been widened, repaired, and repaved. Another exclusive talks about the future of our beaches and our dunes. They're not doomed, hopefully, but on Cape Cod. There's another one from the Falmouth Police Department that explains how the police interface with immigration. And another about the Falmouth Farmers Market, which is held every Thursday from noon until 4. It's a wonderful place to go get your fresh veggies and fruits. It's at the Marine Park on Scranton Avenue. I'd also like to invite everyone to join the FCTV family. A single membership is still only $35 a year. It's a great way to support this wonderful nonprofit organization. And now, performers, it's time to shine. Everyone has a 4-minute time slot. Group times are doubled. Thank you one and all for your participation. I'm going to start us off with a short poem. This is called Daddy, 1924 to 1999. How cruel he should take wing in the Kodachrome springtime. A camera steady in his grip anchors him in images on film strips and slides. First in line to purchase color film, he captures us parading our Sunday best in Easter egg colors. First to buy a video camera, although it gives him fits, still he persists, learns its tricks, his disembodied voice commentating as we squint into the sun. He peers through the viewfinder to snap up family milestones, proof that he was there. That's about my daddy-o. Okay, now performers, it's your turn to shine. I want to thank all of you for your wonderful participation. First up, we have a wonderful duo. They have come here, one from Cotuit? No, I know Ann Arbor, Michigan, and Centerville. I knew it was over in that area. This is Sue Beth Carlson and Chip Kramer. They're going to be doing several beautiful pieces for us tonight.
I wrote this song for my dad 12 years after he passed away. He's been gone now for 20 years.
In his school, he was the best, leaving behind all the rest, till his dad fell from the tree, changed his life from being free. He thought he'd cure his father's fate, he'd find a way before too late. So a doctor he became, deep within him burned this flame. Wisdom of the ages, everything he had to earn. to learn.
His father passed at 59, a milestone for him to climb. He outlived his father's span, 20 years more as a man.
Wisdom of the ages, everything he had to learn, with knowledge to pass down
To those who take their turn, I hope I can be like him,
but I have so much to learn.
What is the scale? How do we chase a man whose mind could illuminate? We are all blessed. He touched our lives when he shared his knowledge and gave us more than he received. He believed in wisdom of the ages. Wisdom of the ages. Wisdom of the ages. Everything he had to earn, with knowledge to pass down to those who'll take their turn. I hope I can be like him, but I have so much to learn. Wisdom of the ages, my own will take their turn.
My dad's name is Art, so I have learned that people are art, just like the movement of two ballroom dancers flowing in synchrony to the music of life. Between hold on and letting go, sweetness dances in the flow, turns together and apart, transform to living works of art, while freedom fights to stomp out truth. These partners with inaction's curse, ongoing wars are dropping Ruth. How can the dance be growing worse than dying to believe what is not true, and living dreams in hope we are not through?
face the loss of all that's dear. Rising love can lift the depths of fear. Please face the music now and really hear. Between hold on and letting go, sweetness dances in the flow, turns together from apart, transform to living works of art. My dad, Art, is a jokester with a flair for creative writing and a love of the dictionary. It may have been he who led me to revel in the wonderful world of words and swim in the seas of what could be. This is called the center. I recently was at the imaging center at a hospital. The instructions that were sent to me before the appointment had the most delightful typo in them. Or perhaps it wasn't a mistake at all. It asked me to come to the imagining center. So when I got there, I imagined myself healthy, and it worked, but I didn't know that yet. So meanwhile, I was able to briefly bring a smile to the face of a worried father waiting for his son's test to be completed, when I informed him we were in the imagining center. And then, for everyone to hear, proceeded to co-create a fairy tale with my sweetheart who had accompanied me. There are so many imagining centers in this world, and they are there for us if we notice them. FCTV and Poetic License are two of my favorites. There are art centers, community centers, spiritual centers, learning centers, libraries, research centers, retreats, and gatherings all over. And some of us have imagining centers right in our own homes. All those are the outer imagining centers. I like to think that the labyrinth is an imagining center that exists both outside of us and within us, which brings me to the imagining places that are inside, in the center of each of us. We can meditate and go with the flow, or dive into the waters of artistic expression. We can imagine a joyous future. We can play with fantasy. We can imagine a way forward from real challenges. Our imagining centers are where all things are possible, and these inner imagining centers can carry us through waves of challenge or splash out of hearts and minds to pour real solutions into the outer world. Welcome to the Imagining Center. Come on in, the water's fine. I'm a mermaid, I should know. See? I'm granting you all a mermaid wish.
And now we're going to hear from the lovely Ellen Todd. Thank you, Ellen.
I'm Ellen Todd, and I have some memories to share about my father. Relationship with and writing about fathers can be complicated. I have a wide range of memories about my father, some good and some not so good. Many of my memories of him are good, and I have to give him credit for much of who I am. I especially credit him with forming my sense of ethics. Sadly, I also saw him do some things that were legal, but seriously lacking in ethics and hard to forget. I'm glad that the good memories are even harder to forget, beginning with my early childhood in Alexandria, Virginia. Dad bought and assembled a swing set in our yard for me and my two siblings. Summer weather was hot, so our family spent time at the local community pool. Mom would watch my younger brother and baby sister at the kiddie pool. I was the firstborn of 3 children, so Dad would sometimes take me into the grown-up pool. He would swim on his back and let me ride on him as if he were a horse. I was disappointed when I outgrew being able to do that. When I was almost 6, we moved to Stowe, Massachusetts, and the swing set came with us. When Dad did yard chores, he tolerated our interruptions. He would rake leaves into a big pile and allow us to jump into them so the leaves would just scatter all over, and he would have to rake them back up again. If he was away on business, Mom didn't allow that. She was swamped with her regular work around the house, plus Dad's chores. If Mom was away, Dad often suggested a movie, The Lone Ranger or something similar, and made a large bowl of popcorn. He was an expert, using just the right amount of oil and shaking the pan so that most of the kernels exploded, and he added just the right amount of melted butter drizzled over the fluffy white popcorn. We always demolished it before the movie ended. Sadly, there were no pause buttons in those days to allow making a second bowl. I still think of Dad's popcorn and occasionally use his method. It's more work, but much better than microwave or movie house popcorn. Dad's favorite leisure activity was working jigsaw puzzles. In those days, it was usually Milton Bradley, 350 or 500 pieces, and some sort of outdoor scene, colorful fall foliage, a wintry woodland, or spring flowers around a farmhouse. Dad was very protective of his puzzles. He was afraid that we'd bend a piece so that it was unrecognizable or absent-mindedly walk off with it to never be seen again. When I was around 6 or 7, I asked if I could help. I promised to be careful. He agreed, and that became a shared activity. In later years, the puzzles became more complex and larger, often 1,000 pieces, and we would exchange puzzles at Christmas time, finding the most challenging puzzles on the market. Dad once sent me about 1 million marbles, and I sent him a puzzle that showed a complicated circuit board, an appropriate gift for an electronics engineer. He didn't call to thank me. Instead, he said, "You really must hate me." And we always knew that this exchange really meant that we loved each other. Many relationships require balancing the things you like about someone against the things you don't. I'm glad that I choose to give more weight to the good things about my father.
Nicely done, Ellen. Oh my gosh, all those great memories. We were right next door. I was in McLean, Virginia when I was growing up, and I too went to the pool, and we did jigsaw puzzles and and leaf piles. But I think the nicest thing about that was realizing what an influence our fathers have on us forever and ever and ever. So thank you so much. Well, now it's time for the newbie. We have a new friend. She's not new. She's been around North Falmouth for many years, and her name is Barbara Hampson, and we're going to give her a real royal welcome for being brave enough to come and perform with us. Thank you, Barbara.
Well, good evening, everyone. This is a first for me. Unaccustomed as I am to public speaking, however, in college I was very involved in public speaking, and it taught us a lot to look at your audience and make sure everyone could hear. When you see people in the back that are going like this, you know you're not loud enough. So we learned a lot. My poem is about my 4th grandchild, and it's something that's very special to all of us. I grew up in North Falmouth. Well, I didn't grow up in North Falmouth, but I felt that way because my husband and I were married many, many years on Old Main Road, and he was a person at the Oceanographic, and he loved it very, very much. I lost him a few years ago, and it's been very hard, very, very hard without him. Anyway, my poem is, A 4th Generation Begins, with shades of pink surrounding her world. In awe of her arrival, so tiny and sweet, Her father, who only yesterday was the firstborn grandson, and his father, who was the firstborn son, can barely contain their joy. The patriarch, would be my husband, smiled down, hesitant to hold her, although he has done this many times before. Finally, he reaches for her. It is time to touch the child who has made him a great-grandfather. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. That was awesome. 4 generations. It's funny that you should call George a patriarch. But that was wonderful. Thank you so much for performing. And now, going to welcome Wayne Stook to the microphone, who come on up.
I wrote this song last Thursday, and then I finished it yesterday. Things wrong with it. And then about 30 minutes before dinner tonight, I messed with it again. That's just my typical and usual style of doing something new. So this is about Daddy, or Daddy-O, I guess. I don't know whether this is sad, happy, or what it is. It's just what it is. Okay. He adopted me to be his son 73 years ago. He kept my first name, then 7 months later, off to Norwood I go. He loved card games and fishing, horseshoes, golf, and baseball too. Not much time went by before he drafted me to do them all too. Fished with him regularly, both on the deep sea and Curlew Pond. I missed him most as a teenager. For days, sometimes he was gone. He missed most of my Boston track race victories. He was always gone. But he was my biggest fan at the Falmouth Road race after many years when he moved on. 30 years. We disagreed on politics, and arguments were long. Oh, what I wouldn't give to have him back again. Who cares who's right and wrong? We live in his home now, on the Great Bay by the sea. I can see him every 4th of July as we're invaded by the whole family. When I'm sailing the Lucky Skipper in a gusty southwest breeze, he's with me with a drink in his hand and a smile upon his face, knowing that I'm always in full command of the skipper by the look of ease on his face. On Father's Day this year, Mary and I agreed. We put his home on a trust. That's the way it should be. I see Pop smiling from ear to ear, knowing that his grandkids and his great-grandkids will own this place through the years. And I think we've done what we must to keep Father's Day through the years.
that was wonderful. You know, the line that really got to me was, if I could only have my dad back for just one more day. You know, I know people usually do feel that way. So thank you for that. That was beautiful. Oh, and now another mermaid, Elaine Robinson. I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
My name is Elaine Robinson, and tonight we have this gorgeous mermaid, which is a running theme that I can't seem to get away from. However, tonight my first poem is about fairies, which is probably similar to mermaids, take us to a happier place. And this is Happy Fairies. Happy fairies dance at dawn. I awaken and sing a song. Tiny wings, delicate feet, morning scene makes me complete. Why be sad with so many smiles? A fairy kingdom spreads across the miles. My friends greet me with music, with laughs. The day begins. I choose a delightful path. And then next, I have a poem about some summer visitors. This is Spirit of the Cicadas. Singing loudly, noise to some, nature's release every 17 years. An insect, short-lived, but a strong presence, drowning out traffic, covering my yard and car, floating downward after a brief existence. I am careful not to step on the ones who leave for the next world. Nature makes herself known in a variety of ways. The cicadas announce her existence. And then last, fits in with our theme, who is your daddy? Tiny follows her mistress into a large aquarium. Wonders of the sea surround her, soothing a mother-to-be. Her thin little legs carry a belly full of pups, eager to enter the world. The curious Yorkie is startled by a scene. Unlike her world, a male seahorse gives birth. Who is your daddy? She requests but no answer. Comes from a silent world of newborn aquatic dragons. She longs to be a seahorse, for the male would release the young into the sea, a different world. Tiny sits and gazes at the father, or is he the mother? It doesn't matter. She would like to be a mother seahorse, watching daddy give birth. The Yorkie sighs. She follows her mistress home.
I really like those, Elaine, especially the last one, the aquatic dragons. That's so cool. Thank you, thank you. And no mermaids today. It's okay. You didn't get the memo. All right, and now we have, of course, John Jackson.
Thank you, thank you. Here all week, try the veal. My name is John Jackson. I write limericks of protest about political things, and I try and keep writing stuff that I've been prompted to do. And I have to say, there's one prompt that I have been chewing on for about a week, and I have not been able to do it, but Elaine nailed it about cicadas. And it does actually play into the Daddy-O theme in that the last time I saw my father-in-law was 17 years ago. There was a hatch in Maryland. It was noisy and a racket, and I've been giving it a lot of thought this week. You don't see him for 17 years. And then all of a sudden, boom, they're everywhere. What's music to them is a racket to our ears. They've got their wings, but they don't know how to fly. And all they want to do is mate. Cicadas are senior prom. If I could fit that into a rhyme, I would. I've been failed by my rhyming dictionary once again. So, anyway, going back to the past month of news. Has there been any news in the past month? White guys like me have few fears, and maybe don't shed enough tears. But I do believe that all people must breathe. George Floyd has been dead for 5 years. Will Washington miss old Elon now that he's apparently gone? Don't kid yourself, honey. Sure, they'll miss his money, but he never would be Donald's pawn. Remember when he spelled hamburger? Here's a fast food that's even absurder. Just hearing him talk about not being taco makes him seem ready to murder. Ukraine's drone airstrike hit hard, burning bombers in Russia's backyard. Trump did not understand. They did not show their hand, but Zelensky did hold a trump card. Changing offices, changing the locks, stealing the prize from the cereal box. We've always been told how much he likes gold. I'm surprised he's not taken Fort Knox. Citizens of California's LA protest ICE's fascist display. No matter how quiet, it can still be called riot, which authoritarians want anyway. He wants new scum to toe the line. And as his poll numbers maintain a decline, not much of a thinker and not much of a drinker, he's serving California wine. Now, about the rhyming dictionary. California Senator Padilla assaulted by Noam's gorilla. Well, it's not Padilla. So let's show the man a little respect and pronounce his name right. California Senator Padilla assaulted by Noam's gorilla. A press conference, LA, what she had to say, peaceful protest is worse than Godzilla. Minnesota lawmakers attacked. 2 killed, 2 injured, others tracked. The deal's famous artisan can't help being partisan. Won't call Governor Walz because he's whacked. He's warning Iran that we'll use missiles, ballistic, and cruise. The big bunker buster, everything we can muster, but what we really need now is Tom Cruise. Backwards is forwards, a palindrome. An attractive scent, a pheromone. But backward thinking and strongly stinking could be Trump derangement syndrome. He left government to work on SpaceX, which is still getting government checks. Is running the Doge and things that explode. What Elon Musk touches, he wrecks. And one on topic. I've been thinking a bit about Dad. Some things he did still make me mad. But there is a rumor I got his sense of humor, so he couldn't have been all that bad. Thank you.
Sorry. Well, John, you got Tom Cruise in there, you got the Trump card with Zelensky, but my personal favorite was the last one about your dad. That was great. Thank you. Well, I've come to practically the end. How did that happen? I don't know. I'm going to close with a spoken piece that I did at my one-woman show at the Catuit Center a couple of years ago. It's called The Last Conversation with My Dad. In 1999, he suffered a stroke at home, was taken to the hospital, suffered a heart attack there, was in a coma, and by the time I got to the hospital in Virginia, he was in hospice. And I always think about who knows how much people who are in comas can actually hear. And at the time, I wanted to make sure I got everything said that I wanted to say, just in case he could really hear me. I held his hand. I brushed his hair. Mostly told him stories, the stories that I loved about his variegated life. Daddy, Dad, do you remember how shy I was when I was a little girl? Remember, you took me by the hand and you taught me how to use your hi-fi in the dining room and how to play all your records. And I just went with it. I sang and I danced around. At the top of my lungs, I was shouting the lyrics that I'd all memorized. And I think that's why I decided to become a singer. So, Dad, thanks. And Dad, I love to think about when you were in the Redskins marching band and you had that politically incorrect white costume of some non-existent Indian tribe with the tall white feathers that floated out behind you as you were marching with your baritone on the green field. And if I was there at the stadium, or even if I was watching you on television, I always knew which one of the baritones was you marching. Because you marched with your feet out like duck feet. I always knew. And Dad, I remember you used to come and hear me sing all the time. And you'd sit there in the front row with tears streaming down your face. You were so darn proud of me. And I know you didn't have much of a voice, at least you thought you didn't, even though you were so musical. But I'm glad I could live the dream for you, Dad. I'm glad. The last words I said, I'd been holding in my heart ever since I heard that he was in a coma. So I began, Dad, I know this must be frustrating for you. I know that if you're tired, if you're exhausted, if you've had enough, it's okay for you to go. It's okay. Everything will be okay. We promise we'll take care of Mama for you, okay? We promise that we will always keep you alive in our memories, but you've done enough. You've done enough. And we forgive you for everything. Everything. And we love you. And he sat bolt upright in the bed with his eyes staring ahead. And I didn't know how to react. What was going on? Was this a miracle? Was he going to come back again? What was happening? But even before the nurses could get into the room, he flopped back down on the bed. And although he was still breathing, they said that's something that happens sometimes. People may have some kind of a bodily reaction like that. So it didn't mean a miracle. I had to leave. I had a family on Cape Cod. I had a job. I had my children. So by the time I got to the airport, to the ticket counter, there was a message for me that he had died. And I am so grateful from the bottom of my heart, not just sometimes, but every day, that I was able to say goodbye to my dad. And thank you for listening to my story. This edited performance will be shown on FCTV's Channel 6, Roku, and Apple TVs, as well as the FCTV YouTube channel. And if you out there would like to be a performer, please sign up for the next Poetic License, which will be on Thursday, July 17th. Just go to fctv.org and search for Poetic License to find out how to register. The suggested theme for July is independent. A whole heap of thanks to our producer, Tony Sedera, to our wonderful camera crew, and of course to our kind and courageous performers. You once again leave us feeling wonderstruck. So, peace, dear friends, and until we meet again, shine on.